Do you find yourself wanting to save more time and energy and be more efficient in the kitchen, but you're not sure where to begin? Well, I've got you covered because that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. My name's Tiffany, and I help busy millennials who feel overwhelmed in the kitchen learn new skills to create quick, healthy meals with wine pairings. Check out my link in the description below and follow me on social media for daily tips, tricks, recipes, and inspiration. And while you're there, be sure to download your copy of my free weeknight recipe guide featuring 7 recipes that go from raw to ready in less than 30 minutes, plus additional tips and wine pairing recommendations so you can start saving time, money, and energy in your kitchen right away today. In this video, we are going to discuss 4 bad cooking habits that you need to break right away today so you can not only be more efficient with time and energy in your kitchen, but also so you can get a healthier dinner on the table faster. And that's not all. I also have a super simple strategy to create the perfect wine pairing experience to go along with your next meal. So be sure to stick around until the end. Let's get started. So the first tip is to stop holding your knife the wrong way. Knife skills is not something that most people are familiar with or comfortable with. And generally, we just want to get those veggies chopped quickly so we can get dinner on the table and move on with our busy lives. However, if you are more efficient with how you are holding the knife, not only are you going to save time, but you're also going to be healthier and maybe even save a finger. Now, many times when it comes to prepping produce, we want to take the easy way out and buy the pre-cut veggies in our produce section. Did you know that that's actually almost twice the cost, sometimes even more than that, when you buy the pre-cut veggies versus the fresh? Plus, when you buy the fresh produce and cut your own, not only is it cheaper, but it's healthier and fresher. Most of those pre-cut produce options are pre-frozen, or they were picked and cut before they were actually ripe. So you're not getting ultimate flavor or even all of the nutrients as with the fresh. So when we look at knife skills, this coated chef's knife is my go-to in the kitchen. It's the perfect size, whether you are wanting to chop some onions, slice some bell peppers or cucumber, or you're looking to chop the chicken breast into 1-inch pieces. This chef's knife is for you. Now, I also love that this set comes with a cover, so it not only is the blade protected in the silverware drawer, but also your fingers are protected when you're trying to find the knife that you need in that silverware drawer. So the proper way to hold the knife, most people are just going to go like this and chop, but you have no control over this knife when it's like that. So instead you want to use what we call a pinch grip. So you're going to pinch that edge and have the other fingers around the handle. This gives you more control over the knife. It's also going to allow you to chop, slice, and dice more efficiently because you have that control, and the knife is going to be more stable. Now, when you're holding your food, you can use a claw grip like that with your fingers on top of the food, and should you choose, you can have the knuckles right up next to the blade just for that extra stability. Use the rocking motion and you have got that produce prepped and ready to go in seconds. Now, of course, with these knives, the coated knives are dishwasher safe. I don't recommend putting them in the dishwasher because that can dull the blade over time. Instead, grab yourself a utensil scrubber to clean that blade off nice and easily. Again, saving your fingers, but also lengthening the knife life that you have. So it's going to last longer. It's going to stay sharp longer. Win-win all the way around. Now, before we jump into the second bad habit that you need to stop doing today, I want to hear from you. When it comes to cooking at home, what is your biggest struggle in the kitchen? drop it in the comments below. I look forward to reading these and learning how we can learn from each other and grow together to start saving time, money, and energy in our kitchen, one recipe and one glass of wine at a time. Now, the second bad habit that you need to stop doing is to buy one fewer processed item every week until you are not buying them at all. I know it's so convenient to grab that jar of pasta sauce for a quick weeknight meal, but it is so much easier, healthier, and it tastes better when you make your own pizza or pasta sauce right at home. And you can do it with simple ingredients such as freshly chopped or crushed tomatoes, a little sprinkle of Italian herbs, and some garlic. Delicious. Now, there are also so many other sauces that you can make at home with fresh ingredients. And not only is it cheaper that route, but it's healthier and it tastes better. So some of the ways that we like to do this in my kitchen, in addition to that homemade pizza and pasta sauce, is to make our own pesto sauce with fresh herbs. We grow lots of basil in the summer, and when you combine that with some olive oil, pine nuts, or walnuts, depending on flavor preference, you can make your own pesto sauce in a food processor in seconds. And by making it in large batches, you can freeze those single serving amounts in an ice cube tray and then store in the freezer in a Ziploc bag or a silicone bag. Pull out as you need it to enjoy fresh pesto sauce all year long. This is also a fun way to make your own ice cubes with those fresh herbs. Basil is delicious in a strawberry lemonade, but there are so many options when it comes to the freezing option to keep them fresh. Now, you can also make your own stir-fry sauce with either soy sauce on its own, or you can combine soy sauce with fish sauce, rice vinegar, oyster sauce, and sesame oil. Add in some cornstarch to thicken it as you add it all into that stir-fry wok. Delicious. And another option is to make your own Alfredo sauce using either Greek yogurt or cauliflower. It is so easy to make your own sauces. And for more ideas, check out my link in the description below. And you can also find additional recipes that are going to come together in less than 30 minutes to save you time in the kitchen. And number 3 is to stop leaving the spoons and spatulas in your pots and pans while you're cooking. I know it's convenient to leave them in there so you remember to stir and mix everything together, but it's not good for the utensil. You can melt the utensils, it can cause burn marks, so they're not going to last as long, nor are they going to be as durable because of that shortening their lifespan. Instead, grab yourself a spoon rest or a utensil clip that is going to clip right onto the edge of that pot or pan to keep your spoon or spatula accessible and close, but not inside your actual pots and pans. This is going to be safer, and it's going to extend the life of those utensils to save you money in the long run. Now, before we jump into the 4th bad habit that you need to break, I want to remind you to hit the subscribe button because I'm dropping videos like this every week, and I would hate for you to miss out on the next tip or trick shared right here inside my tasting room. So this 4th bad habit that you need to break is to stop peeling your foods over the trash can. Yes, we all have busy lives, and sometimes we think it's more convenient to peel it over the trash can because then it's one less step. However, how many times have you dropped that carrot or potato into the trash can? And then you ask yourself, can I get it out? If I rinse it off, is it still okay to eat? It'll be cooked anyway. These are the comments that go through your head, and trust me, I have been there too. When groceries are expensive, you want to save every dollar you can. So the better option is to peel them over a bowl You can collect those scraps and either compost or turn it into veggie stock. Again, you can repurpose those scraps that are going to save you even more money in the long run. We do a lot of composting, but I also love making my own veggie stock. So we save the carrot peels, the potato peels, the ends of your carrots, and so much more in to make our own veggie stock. Now with those scraps, you can store them in the freezer until you have enough to make a decent batch of stock, and then make it all at once. And then those scraps can go into the compost from there, completely repurposed and full circle. Depending on the scraps that you have, you can actually grow some of those into more food. Carrot tops, for example, you can plant in dirt, and over time, they will grow into new carrots. You can also do this with the wedges of lettuce. Think iceberg lettuce. You can replant those, and those roots will grow and eventually sprout a new head of lettuce. So many possibilities to stretch that dollar and repurpose those veggie scraps rather than just throwing them in the trash. Now let's keep this momentum going by creating the perfect wine pairing experience to go along with your next meal. Tip number 1, red with red and white with white. So generally speaking, red wine is going to go best with your red meat and white wine is going to go best with your white meats. But that's not always the case. And that leads us to tip number 2, which is to consider your sides and seasonings. So when it comes to picking the perfect bottle of wine to go along with that meal, look at the meal as a whole. What sides are you serving with that main course? What common flavors and seasonings are bringing it all together? And that is what you want to look at to pick out that wine. So if you find yourself with some red meat, tomato-based pasta sauce, and savory spices and flavors, a red wine is going to be your better option. However, if you are having flavors of more cheese, garlic, and fresh herbs, a white wine is going to be the better option. Look at it as a whole, pick out the common flavors and aromatics to choose the perfect wine. And number 3, sweet likes heat. When it comes to spicy dishes such as Mexican, curry, and Thai food, a sweet wine is the best way to go. The sweetness in the wine is going to cut through that spiciness and actually bring it down a little bit to a more bearable flavor for those that are not a big fan of spicy foods. And it's even going to bring out some flavors that you may have never tasted before in that dish. Now, if instead you are wanting to increase the spiciness, then grab yourself a dry wine and it will do just that. But remember, I warned you that it was going to get more intense. So to learn even more and become a wine pairing guru in your social circle, check out my link in the description below and download your copy of my basic food and wine pairing guide to help you become the next master in your social circle when it comes to food and wine pairing.